Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Saturday the 4th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got this morning, fairly decent time frame. Dog's got me up kind of in the early stage. My dog decided to shit on the floor again, which can't really blame him for it. I think he's old, he doesn't know he's doing it, so on and so forth, but we're gonna have to start restricting his food. He was doing pretty good, so I was kind of giving him more open food times. And now I'm just gonna have to start restricting his food back early in the evenings, and then also force him outside longer to make sure he goes to the bathroom out there before he comes in for the night. So kind of is one of those things that I was kind of giving him a break because the puppies that were out there were annoying him quite a bit. So I was allowing him to basically just kind of hang out inside a little too much. And then when he did go out to the bathroom, I don't think I left him out there long enough to kind of force him to poop. So yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, it just kind of a mess, and you got rugs to hose off and clean and all kinds of stuff. It just adds for a lot more work, unfortunately. But got that done. Got the dogs all fed, got them all cared for. Ended up had another dog that's supposed to be coming today for another like kind of a test run day stay, and basically they're gonna have a long stay coming up, and they want the dog to kind of be comfortable here before they drop the dog off for like 10 days or however long it's going to be here for. So that got canceled, got scheduled back over to Sunday, which isn't really a big deal, but it just kind of throws off a little bit of what I had planned for what dogs were doing what, but it's all good. So got a few things around here done. Had to go feed the RV cats, got that taken care of, and then had to go let the three dogs out. I walked them, I guess, letting three dogs out to let them go to the bathroom and get them some play. So I basically, the bulldog doesn't play much at all. She goes down and goes to the bathroom and kind of sits there and watches us play. And the two German Shepherds and I will play some fetch and stuff. So they'll kind of hang out and have a good time. And normally what we do with them is I just play fetch with them until they basically stop bringing the ball back. I'll give them a couple times to lay down, I'll kind of coax them back into it. By the third time, I have to really call them back over, and they'll be laying down instead of playing. I figure that's enough time to play because they're old and they're out of shape. They don't play that much very long. So definitely don't want to over accelerate them. So went ahead, played with them for a while, headed back to the house. Hung out with the dogs here at the house for a while, got a few things taken care of. My wife had found a dresser / China hutch thing that she liked. We were gonna stick in the, I don't know what we call it, breakfast nook / dining room. We don't call it, because we have a formal dining room, but we don't use it as a dining room. And we have a breakfast nook thing off the kitchen that's kind of going to become our dining room. So she wanted something over there to kind of help put some extra pots and pans in and rice cookers and that kind of stuff. So figured we'd go ahead and go look at it. It's over in DeLand, so it wasn't that big a deal. So couldn't get a hold of her earlier. Had to set up a time, and then said, hey, what would work? She's like, I'll be home after 1. I'm like, God, 1's like the worst time for us because I got to go walk RV dogs at 2. And I'm like, yeah, it's really kind of a time. I said, tell her, ask her if she'll be around at 4. And she went ahead, she said, yep, I can be around at 4. I said, okay, we'll do that. So went ahead, and there was a sculpture / it's a artist that they basically make a bunch of reproductions of his stuff. It's a really cute little little porcelain looking shark thing on a piece of wood that you can buy them on Amazon. Stuff, they're not rare or nothing, but they were selling it for like $10. And I'm like, shit, that's cheap enough. Worst case scenario, I'll give it to my buddy who's obsessed with, he's going to be eaten by a shark at some day in his life. So I thought, hell, $10, I'll go ahead and just do that kind of thing. But asked them earlier, I'm like, hey, will you be around tomorrow around 2? And they're like, yep, I should be around at what time you think? I'm like, oh, kind of said around 2. So they're like, oh, I didn't realize you set a time. And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird, but whatever. I said, I just need an address, and I'll send you a text before I head that way. So they sent me an address, so they're cool. It's kind of on the way down to go walk the RV dogs. So I'm like, okay, cool with that, no big deal. And as I headed out to go walk RV dogs, I reached out to them and said, hey, I'm on my way. Be there in like 10 minutes, whatever. I guess 8 minutes actually. And she's like, cool, just give me a thumbs up. So I was like, we're good there. So went ahead and said to hell with it. Headed over, get there. Nobody out front. I figured they'd kind of be near, looking out the window or something. You got 8 minutes to notice, somebody's on their way. Nothing. So I knock on the door, nothing. Ring doorbell doesn't seem to work. Nobody seems to be home. House kind of looks a little bit abandoned. I'm like, yeah, great, whatever. So I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I text, actually when I first got there, I text also here, and then nothing. So I texted him like, what the hell? So then I text back again, like, hello, like, what the hell's going on? So I'm now wandering around this place with there's nobody around. And then I get a text from her that says, oh, I gave you the wrong address. It's this number. And it was, she had 223 and it's supposed to be 232 or something. Or whatever it is. She punched the numbers in wrong. So I'm like, no, whatever. At this point, by the time she finally told me the address gone, I'd already given up and left because she was so slow with that. So I'm driving on a motorcycle, texting back. And she goes, well, I'm going to go out in the driveway and wait for you. And I'm on the highway on the motorcycle. So I'm like, oh, I'm not coming back. So like, you clearly had your address wrong. It's not that you didn't. And I assume most likely what it is, it's one of those people who thinks they're going to be killed on dealing with stuff like a marketplace and Craigslist, that kind of stuff, that will give you the wrong address. And then when you get there, because a lot of times people don't want, like, because if you don't have a time set up exactly there, I've done it before, one of those things, I'll give them an address to a dead house, something on the street, that, especially in a house that's abandoned, no, I know nobody's in, but then they're like, oh, I screwed it up, I meant XYZ, but I stay on top of it when they're there, you know, like, I'm dealing with it, I'm right there, I don't wait till they've already been knocking on the doors and stuff, and if they give me 8 minutes notice, I will then tell them, hey, I gave you the wrong address. So I was like, yeah, I'm done, I'm not going back. And I guess that's fate's way of telling me I didn't need these set items, so I'm all good with it, kind of let it go. Went on down and walked the dogs. Crazy hyper. I feel sorry for the female dog because the male pup is just a pain in the ass and he's so mean to her. And he ended up in the crate, which a lot of times we've been leaving him in the crate in the morning, and then I'd walk him. I used to walk him every day, 5 days a week, and then I'd leave him out in the afternoon, but I wasn't told that. So I put him back in the crate, took him for a walk, and they're just crazy hyper, bouncing off the, you know, just don't listen very well and stuff. And so I don't know if her new schedule has her working less hours. She doesn't need a walker, if she found somebody else cheaper. I don't know which, but couldn't do the weekend. So went and got that done, came back, got the house. Had that weird time where I almost had time to go run. By the time I got my running, got my shower, I'd be late getting to the land. And I was like, whatever, no big deal. So I went ahead and told my wife, I said, hey, reach out to them, make sure they're still gonna be there to go look at that dresser, China hutch, we want to call it. And she did and got no response back. Got no response back. I'm like, well, are we driving over there or not? Because it's like 45 minutes over there. So, and she said, I don't know, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I need to know, because if we're not gonna drive there, I'm gonna go run right now. If we are gonna drive there, I need to get my, drink, then we're gonna head over. So she finally heard back from the lady, and she goes, let's just go. I'm like, okay. So I was getting my stuff ready, and she headed across the street to check with her dad on some stuff. And then she heard back from the lady and said she was gonna be there. So we jumped in the truck, headed over. Full intention of buying this thing. It was like $600, $585, and it's been refinished. They put a coat of paint on it, and it was one of those ones that probably came from a yard sale for $10 and or for free, and they've fixed it. It looks nice in the pictures, looks really nice. So we drive over there and hit horrendous traffic. It's bike week down here, so it's a lot of traffic going on. So we get into land, it's all good. Finding the place, no big deal. In the process, looking at stuff, and it just wasn't nice. All the seams around the raised panel doors are coming apart, and the doors don't close correctly and stuff. So I'm like, God, this thing's $600, and like she was asking like 800, and she lowered it to 600, and I'm like, no, I'm looking at it, I feel like I don't want this, but I don't want to be like, holy rude to this lady. So I'm like, make sure I point out the spots where this is not done perfectly well. And whoever painted it, which I assume was her, she refinished this furniture, wasn't great. They put the top on top of once, a 2-piece China hutch, and you can see where the paint's all scuffed up from being set up there one time, which is fine, because when you put it there, you screw it together, it's going to stay there forever. But every time you put a pot or a pan or a crock pot or something stuff, it's going to wear off that paint too. So I was like, no, let's not do this. So my wife agreed she didn't want it. And I was hoping she wouldn't like tell me make an offer on it kind of thing. So I was like, we don't want this. And at like $200, I might have, just as like a place filler to see if it's the size we want or whatever, but not at $600, no way. So kind of gave me an idea of kind of what she's like, and the color was off a little. It turned out a lot more green in person than it was on the camera, on the phone and whatnot. So gave up there, headed over. We ended up driving on down to Orange City, and there's a little pizza place there called Blue Springs Pizza that I'd seen for a long time. I had a vending machine right just a couple doors down from it, and never stopped in there because I usually live in the mornings doing vending stuff. So I wasn't over there. I said, let's just grab a pizza, then go from there. I said, when we stop in there with a pizza, I'll go for a run. Then you go to the pizza, and by the time it's done, I'll be done with my run, and we'll come back, grab the pizza, and head home. She said, perfectly fine. So I said, do you want to go to the park? You want to sit in the parking lot? She goes, let's go to the park. So I took her to the park, and it was like a madhouse. They were having all kinds of sporting events, and there was ambulance and cop cars there. I don't know if somebody was hurt or there was a fight or what. It was kind of hard telling. And she just didn't really feel like she wanted to sit there in the truck. So I said, okay, cool, I'll take you back to the pizza place. So she sat there. It's like an upper parking lot, nice little shaded spot. So she sat there, played on her phone. Went for my run, short of the pizza. I got back. It was funny, as I was leaving, I changed into my running gear. As I was leaving, a gentleman pulled in the parking lot, and I'm assuming to order pizza because he came carrying a box out when I got there. But he pulled up right as I was leaving, and as I was getting back, he was carrying the food out to the truck. So he'd been there at the exact same time I was gone. It was kind of funny. So kind of had a good little chuckle with that. I got back to the truck while I was basically changing out again to drive home. My wife went inside, paid for the pizza, brought it out, put it in my truck, and we headed home and ended up hitting 2 separate traffic jams. One was a motorcycle car crash, actually a trike, a 3-wheel motorcycle, and that backed everything up just off I-4 there by the fairgrounds. That was a long ass wait. Then we ended up on 95 going south, ended up with a bunch of traffic again. Came to a complete stop also there, and a semi had caught himself on fire on the rear axle. So he had luckily was able to dump his trailer and get out. It wasn't hurt. The fire trucks had to show up and all that stuff, so really slowed the road down. So it took us like, I don't know, probably 2.5 hours to get home instead of 45 minutes. So it was a long ass delay. So we get home, pizza's crazy cold, and I still had to get a shower, get the dogs fed, all that good fun stuff. So I took care of the dogs, got myself a shower, heated up my pizza. Mom and Karen ate a slice already, so waiting for me because they were hungry. So got a shower, had a couple slices of pizza, watched an episode of Seinfeld, and then I headed outside to play with the pups and hang out with them for the evening, and then printed some more stuff on the printer, just let it run, printing all kinds of just dumb stuff. So having fun with that 3D printer still, printing all kinds of weird crap and going from there. So that's all I got for right now. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.